building, and I am the owner of Your Sweet Connection, YouTuber, baker. I'm definitely a cake designer. I'm a confectioner. I do all things from business, you name it. But I am the proud ambassador of Icing Images, and I am here to demo the Cello sheet. Don't have the Flex Frost, but we do have a video on the Flex Frost sheet. You can also view that on Icing Images Facebook page, so you can check that out. But these are one of my favorite designs, and this year, Icing Images have came out with something. She said she thought of me and mine, and I said, okay, well, let's see what we got here. The Cello sheets. So they are they're a little bit more pliable when it comes to applying them onto desserts, especially strawberries and apples. But we're going to get into that um, in this demo. Okay. Any questions that you have? I can't see them, but Debbie is going to read them off and let me know what they are. And I'm just going to go with the flow. Okay. And
All right.
we got the two sizes, which this one is the three. No, what is this one?
I have to see the one next to it, and then I can tell you.
This the smaller one.
Yep, so that's 2.5, and the other one's 3-inch. Something real quick to talk about, because I didn't make that clear. So the kits that are for sale come pre-printed with 6 sheets. And so you have it, Rochelle will talk about how many they make. The Cello sheets come with 6 printed sheets with her love design on it. And it comes with paper potion and an extra spray bottle to use, and she'll show you how that works. And yes, they do work with Oreos. And Jackie said, I ordered some before and they are so hard to apply. I still have them.
You must have the smart sheets.
Yeah, we're moving away from that. The smart sheets have to be saturated really well with the paper potion. You're going to see the Cello sheets. They're like a plastic that you peel away, but edible. They kind of melt in your mouth, and that's the one that I knew that Rochelle would love. So,
I actually love Flex Frost.
You love Flex Frost?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an awesome sheet. Flex
But
Frost.
I am liking these, but I love Flex Frost too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is, it's going to be a favorite soon.
Yeah.
So. But let's get into it, okay?
Sounds good.
So I'm going to go ahead and flip my screen. So just give me a few minutes to do a flip the dip.
Jamila, yes, she's going to be working with Cello sheets today. Here we go. All right, you want to turn the camera the other way? Right now it's going left and right, and the apple's at the right side and you're on the left side. So you want to turn your camera. And Sharella, the Flex Frost kits are still available too. They are under the Flex Frost page.
Turn it this way?
No, it turned when you did that. Try turning it one more time. Okay, stop. You got the apple on the top. If you can turn the top of your camera down a little bit. There we go. And can you move the whole camera up a teeny bit?
I mean, I haven't got it up.
That's good. And then just tilt it again in the same direction I told you to. So you're going, the part away from you is going down and the part of your phone closest to you goes up.
Okay. So is that better?
I can see the top of the apple, and I can see that where your fingers are. Your fingers are like I can't see, now I can see your whole hand. Right there too. Over there I can, yep.
No. So if I turn it vertical, you couldn't see anything? Because I had it like that at first. Oh no. Did we go out again? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Can you see me, Lori?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't know what happened to Debbie.
Deb went off for a minute, but we can still see you. So keep on going, and I'll help you out with the comments until she gets back.
Okay, so she cut off, so I didn't know if I were in sync
Okay,
with
she's
the
back. I'm going to
camera.
switch.
Okay,
Okay, for some reason, all right, so tilt the top of your camera down. There you go. So yeah, I think that's going to be perfect. What we can't see on the bottom is past the handles of your scissors. So that's how far it comes down. So your hand is on screen now, or it
right.
was. Both hands are on screen. You're perfect.
Okay. All right. So that means if I come here, you can see everything right here, right?
Yes, we can. I apologize. My computer wasn't, I guess, plugged in. So, but now we are.
Okay. So you can see that, right?
Yep, we can see that.
All right. All right. So let's get into it. So first off, we're gonna dip the strawberries. So you clean your strawberries how you clean them, however you clean them. I clean mine with a solution, um, which is called Veggie Wash. And all I do is just spray the strawberries in a bowl of lukewarm water, um, and it cleans it really well. It gets rid of the parasites, remove any type of wax or anything like that. I don't let them soak because if you want your leaf to stay green, it's best to clean them, rinse them, and dry them completely, and then prepare to dip. All right. Letting them sit for 24 hours and all of that stuff after you have soaked the strawberries, then your green leaf will start to shrivel up and then turn brown. So for best results, because I know I'm gonna get that question, how you keep the leaf green, just clean them, rinse them, and then dry them completely and then prepare them. All right. So it don't matter what chocolate or candy coating that you use to apply your sheets. Um, Now, if I'm gonna tell you right now, if you dip them in candy and can you apply them to a candy strawberry, they're not gonna last no longer than 24 hours. If you're dipping them in candy, okay. So I recommend you're gonna do something, do it in chocolate or a candy coating. All right. So what I'm using is an almond bark candy coating here, and we're going to dip. You want your strawberries to become completely dry. All right. And we're just gonna dip a few here. Now, while you making your desserts, whether it's Oreos, have them prep. Do not take your sheets, the Cello sheets, out of the package. All right. Now, I like to scrape the bottom of my strawberry, and I'm going to do that with these. But to keep your strawberries from seeping, you want to not scrape them. Okay. And you drain off as much of your chocolate or candy coating as possible and just turn it upside down, rotate it like you would do a cake pop, and then sit it into like a styrofoam um, block or roll so that it can completely dry so that you have the whole strawberry covered. They will last long and then they won't seep so quickly. All right. But today I'm scraping them and putting them on the mat. All right. All right. We're going to get these dipped. And if y'all hear my baby in the back, he's upset because he's locked up. He's an Aussie doodle, and he's a big baby. He's only 3 months.
Oh,
And he's a companion dog, for real. He's a companion dog, wants attention.
don't we all?
Sure do. All right. And we're gonna dip this last one because I want to make sure I have enough covered. Y'all hear?
Here. Oh, I just want to pet him.
He's truly a big baby. All right. For the apple, all right. So the apple you can just clean and rinse when you're dipping it in chocolate or candy coating. If you want to strip the wax using the hot water method, that's totally up to you. But it's not necessary because some people like to have the green on. Just make sure the apple is completely clean and dried. All right. And then you dip. Now, when I melt my chocolate with a candy coating that I'm using here, I melt in 30-second intervals. Excuse me. And I let the candy coating sit for about 5 minutes before I dip. And any bubbles like you see popping up right now, pop them. Pop them before it starts to solidify. All right. Scrape the bottom. And we're going to let that dry. Now, if it's humid in your house, in your kitchen, wherever you're dipping, it's going to take a minute for your chocolate or your candy coating to dry. So I normally just let the process roll. Let the good times roll. But no, let the process roll and just let them sit and dry. I don't put them in the refrigerator or anything like that. They would dry at room temperature.
Do
All
you
right.
do you thin your chocolate at all?
Do I who?
Thin your chocolate?
Yes, I do. It depends on which brand I'm using. So even with the almond bark, it do melt really good. And I normally add like 2 tablespoons of Paramount crystals, which is these right here. This is the Paramount crystals is just a fully hydrated palm kernel with oil with soy, and they look like this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And all it do is it thins out and turns into an oil. That means it's set. I like using Paramount crystals when it comes to adding to my chocolate or my candy coating because it thins it out and it won't stay wet, so it will set. So just like Crisco, a lot of people use Crisco oil, which the oil stays liquid, and the shortening is the white substance that you see in the jars. And you notice from the oil and the shortening it sets. So when you melt it, it turns into an oil substance and then it sets. So that means it dries up quickly. So with the Paramount crystals, it's the same thing. It's an oil, hydrated oil, which melt, it turns into oil, and then it sets back into the white substance. So when you're adding it to your chocolate or your candy coating, it helps. And this is why I like using it, because a lot of people ask me why I like using Paramount crystals than vegetable oil, because it sets quickly. So when you melting milk chocolate, real chocolate that has the cocoa in it, it takes a minute for it to set if you're not tempering it properly. So as a candy coating, which a lot of treat makers use, because it's an already tempered chocolate coating, right? And it sets quickly. So when you add it to your candy coating using the Paramount crystals, it sets quickly. And if you're using vegetable oil, it's going to stay oily, and you're going to sit there wondering why your candy coating hasn't dried completely. And that's because you may have put too much oil in your chocolate or candy coating. All right.
We have a couple questions. Can you use coconut oil instead of the crystals? And I believe you said
Yeah,
no.
a lot of people like to use coconut oil. I try to keep away from the coconut oil because of allergies. So you never know who's allergic. So I tend to stay away from that. But the same as coconut oil. Coconut oil is that same shortening substance, like the Crisco shortening. So the
Mhm.
coconut oil has a white substance. When you melt it, it turns into oil. Then when it dries, it sets back into that white substance. So that means your candy coating is going to set quickly than just using regular oil. But I stay away from it because of allergies.
Right. And then with the apple, do you have to stick, do you stick a straw into the apple or?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Straw and stick. Um, so the stick goes first and then the straw. All right.
gotcha.
Okay.
And then another one, sorry, we've got a couple different questions. So if somebody has 2 pounds to how much candy bar? 2 tablespoons of how much candy bar?
Okay. Yes. So I use 2 tablespoons to 2 cups of um, candy coating or chocolate. Two
Gotcha.
cups.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Alyssa,
right.
I'm going to address your question in a minute. Okay. Sorry, that one's for me.
Okay. All right. So here I have the Cello sheets. Remember, as you dip in your treats, make sure your Cello sheets are in the package and they're sealed up. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is a delicate sheet. All right. These are the clear sheets and these are the white sheets. All right. This is the bigger font. And this is the smaller font. So you can see the difference. This is the 2.5. That's right, Debbie?
Yeah, the smaller one is 2.5 and the larger one is 3. That's I think what you had asked for.
Yep. So I really like the larger one because it stands out. And the font, when it's a bigger font, this just stands out. If it's smaller, it's fine too. But I like the bigger font when it comes to either the Flex Frost sheets or the Cello sheets. All right. So here is, and I'm going to use the 3-inch font sheets. Now, please, y'all, pay close attention to what I'm getting ready to tell you because these are delicate sheets. Don't just take them out like regular um, smart sheets or your image sheets because these will dry up. Okay. They will crack. I don't want nobody to say, oh, mine's is cracking. Let me tell you how to properly use them. Keep them closed until you use them. So when you take it out, hope you all can see, I pull out the whole thing because I got multiple sheets in here. Okay. And they come packaged well. Now, if they start to fold like this, don't panic. All right. I thought I had one that was cracked, but here it goes one. If it rolls up like this, don't fret. It could be that it's humid in your house and they will do this, but don't keep them out too long. All right. So I'm going to take these two out and put these back. Okay. Now, pay attention to the sheet. When you take the sheets out and if you order the clear ones, don't get confused. You may get confused with which side is which, like I did. Okay. So, and I was really trying to find a way that would be easier for you guys to apply them onto the strawberries or your apples. But what I want you to pay attention to is this is the top of your sheet. Okay. This is the part that has the printed ink, the printed edible ink on it. Once you peel the back, okay, it's clear. So what you may have to do is just bend this back, one of the edges, and start to pull the sheet off. Okay. You may see it's just coming off quickly. Now, if it begins to crack like that, I hope y'all can see that. I want you to start over and start to peel back. Okay. And just peel back easily. Don't pull the image. Peel back the plastic. Okay. And then start to just pull it on off.
It also works better if you, I like to, the drier your environment, it kind of falls off when it's dry. But if you're only using a small part, use like the straight edge. I'm losing my words, Rochelle. You can cut like a small piece with an X-Acto knife. It comes off a lot easier. And then I peel the backing away from the image or the sheet. But most people don't have a problem with it. It just depends on the level of the humidity. And the hardest part for me is knowing which side is up.
Exactly.
With the love print, at least the writing, is in the right direction.
Right.
If you're using another print, you may not be able to tell. And so if you dampen the corner of it, the top is actually the stickier side. That's right. Another way to tell.
So what works for me, well, this is the X-Acto knife that she's talking about, you guys. So
yeah. Yeah, so also for those of you who are asking about the discount code, it's scrolling below. We had a mistype, and so we've put it in both ways. I'm going to put these codes right here again, and we're working on it's already fixed now. So, and that will save you 10% off at icingimages.com of supplies, including the kits. Okay.
All right. So once you pull it off, well, what I do, I like it, even if you pull it off and you have your piece cut out. So I really eyeball, because I measure. I really eyeball how much I'm going to take out, because I really don't measure it. Okay. See that? Okay. I'm warning y'all.
I put it down, the print down on the table, and the other way, and then I pull it back, the backing away from it.
Okay. Well, I see, and I don't want nobody to get confused, because this is actually the front of the image, which is spelled love. So if you turn it backwards and it's spelled backwards, that's the backing of the sheet. Don't forget to take the sheet off. So what works for me is when it's facing correctly, and then I pull it off, and then I just cut off. And when I get ready to pull it off, I just take my strawberry to see how far it's going to come down. And then I just cut off a row. And this one is already off. So we're going to take this sheet off. Okay. But sometimes you can forget. If you forget, you don't know which side you're going to put on, make sure you look at the front, that you have it where it's spelling out love. Right? Now, I'm just going to cut a piece. Again, I'm just measuring. You want to have enough where it's going to cover the top and to the bottom. Each strawberry is going to be a different size. So
Okay, the code guys is fixed. I'm going back into the system. If you placed an order, I'm going to go ahead and give you that 10%. So no worries, we got you covered. It's all fixed now.
Okay. All right. So y'all see that? The love. Okay. Remember, this is the image that can get smeared. So make sure your hands are dry. You don't have no, and I'm just going to show you, see on top of here, I'm adding a little water. You see that? The image is gone because this is the right side up, and that's how you want to apply it. So make sure you don't get no water on the outside of it. All right. So I'm just going to cut that off there. All right. So now I'm measuring out my little piece. And I'm just cutting enough to just cover the top, okay? My little piece that's out now is fine. I'm going to sit it over to the side. And this is the front. Remember, if all the loves are going spelled out correctly, even if you got one, you see the loves that's going upwards, it's fine. But if majority of them are going spelled love going to the right, you're on the right side, okay? So now take your scissors and start cutting slits. Slits around the image. And I'm just putting a lot in here because I want it to lay. All right. All right. The slits are in. I'm going to hold, first off, I'm going to take my little bottle of water. You will get this in your package. You just apply some water in here. I used to add the paper potion. I like the paper potion because it's flavored and scented. But I just spray my strawberry just twice. All right. Or you can take a brush, take some water. Make sure you don't lay that image down on the water. Or you can do that. But I take my brush and you can go back and forth. But I take the spray. I hold the tip and just spray. It is going to start to curl. And I want you then to apply it to your strawberry. Lay it on there. Okay. Hold on. Use my hands correctly. All right. Let me add some more water to the strawberry. Now, you see how I'm doing this? If it's not laying, watch closely. I'm going to take a dry brush, okay? So you won't destroy the image.
Yes, Tori, she took the back off and then cut, but you can cut first. It really doesn't matter which way you go. But the thing is to remember that with a clear Cello, there's a clear and a white. The clear, it's because it's clear. It's great because it's clear, but it's hard because it's sometimes hard to tell which side is which. With a love print, because there's words on it, you know when it's in the right direction, you have that top. And then the white one is, let's say you want to use dark chocolate, you can use white Cello sheets as well, and that will cover up the dark chocolate. So you can see the print.
All right. And there you have it. That's wrapped. Like I said,
That's a wrap.
They're delicate. So the clear is good because you can dip in white If you got white chocolate, if you got red chocolate, you can use the clear. You can use the white, but it don't make sense to put white over red. So when it's clear, it'll show your the color of the chocolate. If it's red, then it shows up, and then that little heart stands out. But
Yes.
it's perfect to go over the white. All right. You may see some little bubbles, but let me tell you, let this dry. All right. Don't put it in the refrigerator. Just let it air dry. It's going to air dry. All right. And it's going to stick on here like candy. All right. It's 100% edible. And I love this. I love the application to it. All right. Now, again, the backing is off. The reason why I take off the image first is because you can get confused which part is the front or the back. So, like Debbie said, if you don't take it off, if you don't peel off the backing, all right, then you'll get confused. I mean, if you don't peel off the backing, you won't get confused to what side is which. Just long as the love going into the right direction and it's spelling out love going right. All right. So, and again, I'm going to do the white. Now, let me finish this off. So, with this same little piece for the apple. Now, I ain't cutting out a perfect heart because it's like a graffiti print. I'm just freestyling my heart.
As there's 6 sheets in the pack, it's on the Cello sheet one, it is clear sheets that are coming into it. And how many does six sheets makes 3 dozen average size, doesn't it?
Yeah, 3 dozen. It could be more depending on the size of the strawberries.
Yeah.
And make sure you measure out each strawberry when you cut off, you cut off a row. Okay? So this is my little freestyle heart. I'm adding a couple of slits on the sides. They don't have to be super big. Okay? You got that love showing. All right? This is backwards. That's backwards. Don't apply it backwards. That's the right side. All right? I'm just add a little bit of water on there. And then I'm holding one tip of the image, and then I'm going to spray the back. Don't spray too much because it will curl up. And then add it to your dessert.
Love it.
Oh. I got a runaway apple.
Now, when I was playing with it, I actually covered the entire apple with it. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but I wouldn't cover the whole apple though.
Why?
I wouldn't cover the whole apple because the customers may not want the whole image on there. And that's just my opinion, and that's my preference. Because this is a treat. This particular sheet just needs to add a little flair to it. Now the strawberries, that's fine. Okay. So if you get any that's sticking up, just apply water up under it. And try not to saturate it. You see, I'm not saturating the whole back of it, and I'm doing that for a reason, because then you'll start to destroy your image. And that's it. And this is a dry brush, y'all. This is a dry brush. Just simple like that. Now this is just a hand cut out image. A hand cut out heart. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Any questions so far? I'm gonna do the white one.
Savage Sweets. Barbara, if you could message me on Facebook, please, regarding your order.
All right. So again, this is the white. You can tell which one is the front and the back. All right. Again, I only cut off enough. So if you turn to the side, and this is how I measured the strawberry. And I cut that much off. So maybe I'm gonna do it with a ruler. Next
Now,
time.
the packages, Rochelle, we included with the Cello sheets, we included a paper potion bottle, and we also included a empty spray, fine mist sprayer, same color, for water, just to make it easier. And it does come with the 6 clear sheets.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. So you're gonna have a little extra on the side. Just cut that off. It's just a plain white space there. And like I said, if they are cracked, that doesn't mean they're bad. Okay, so don't panic because it's not bad. So if you take them out and you pull it off and it begins to crack, don't worry. Now you cracking it if you just not careful. They're delicate sheets, so be sure to remove them carefully. All right, so I'm sizing up my piece here, and remember I'm not trying to wrap the whole strawberry, but I'm wrapping the top part of it. You set this to the side, and then I'm begin to cut my slits. And I really don't have a particular number of how many slits I put in here, but I'm hitting these corners where I know will be difficult to lay. And see, if this one is actually, could be, no, that's perfect. All right. So again, take that brush just a little bit, holding the edge, and I'm going to flip the back, just holding the tip of it and spray the back. See how that curls? It's going to start rolling up. Now, normally this is what I do. I hold the strawberry and then start holding it down. As soon as I get an end down, I take my dry brush and begin to hold.
Wyoming wants to know if you would use the paper potion in place of the water.
I mean, if I want, it leaves a little flavor to it. And you will get, once you get it and try it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it smells really good. And I mean, it's totally up to you. I went too far over, but I'm glad you see this. So if you don't place it correctly, this is what's gonna happen. But if you try to pull it, it ain't gonna make no sense to pull it. So grab you another piece. Let me just lay these, putting some water up under there. And just holding this down. Okay, so this is the white one. So I came over too far. So what I'm going to do is just take off another small piece and just apply it right on the edge there. Cut some slits so that it can lay. Spray. spray and lay. Okay.
Lisa wants to know if they can be placed in the fridge for the next day.
Oh yeah, they can go in the fridge. Once you're done with them, you can box them and then place them in the refrigerator. So when I mentioned that you don't need to like put them in the refrigerator to completely dry, like put them in there to dry, they can sit out to room temperature and dry, but you can package them and then place them in the refrigerator. Okay. So
Awesome.
it's pretty much, you're going to do a lot of holding to let them, don't, have patience. All right. For them to lay. They're not laying. Add a little bit of water up underneath the image, hold, and there you have it.
Tina wants to know if they can be used with fondant.
Oh yeah, you can put these on fondant.
Yep.
You can put these on fondant, but if you're doing a cake, you can use them on your cake.
Yep.
But if you're gonna put it, don't put fondant on the strawberry and then put it. I think that's a little bit too much. You're not gonna cover the strawberry with fondant, are you? I know you're not gonna do that, are you?
And how much would you charge for a dozen?
These would be $65 a dozen because of the image, or even, and then it depends on your market, how much you're paying for your strawberries, the supplies that you're using. But these would be $65 and more because the image that you're paying for and how much of the images that you're using. Now, my suggestion would be, this would be a signature box. You can use, if you're using a dozen, then you're going to maybe use, like, you can use 8. And then the other 4 would be just a regular decorated red or decorated Valentine's strawberries, where you're not doing the whole dozen with the images. You can do that. But keep them signature. Is what what your package is going to consist of. So if I was to do them, I would apply 8 strawberries of these created images, and then some regular strawberries for them, to enjoy besides that. But if your customer want all of them to look that way, then that's, fine too. That's totally up to you. All right.
And how long do they last once you put the image on?
They lasted a long time. They lasted, I kept them in the refrigerator for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is actually long, but I wanted to see how they are when the strawberries start to wither away. And 2 weeks is actually too long, but I was testing. That was test phase.
Yeah.
So a week is good for you to serve to your customer. 2 weeks is just too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I first did them, they're still good, but they're on my counter. I wouldn't eat them, but
I even set them out. I even set them out. And to be honest, I kept them strawberries up. I just threw them away the other day.
Yeah.
I just threw them away the other day.
My apple, my strawberry. I did an orange too. I wrapped it right in the orange. It was pretty.
Yeah. And any moisture, I just want to make sure y'all listen here. Yeah. If you have any moisture around these Cello sheets, they will become sticky. If you get a little bubble, don't worry. Take a little toothpick and pop it, and then apply a dry finger or a dry brush, paper towel, something dry where you don't mess up the image. Because remember, the outside image is what is printed. Now I'm gonna bite this, okay?
How do you box them?
Just like you do regular strawberries.
You may not know how to do that.
They can be boxed. I don't have a box right by me, but they can go in any type of package. Yeah, any type of package. I wouldn't put them in plastic though.
Right, because it'll sweat.
Yeah, it'll
So
definitely
these,
sweat away. Don't put
yeah,
them in plastic. And
yes,
don't put them in the little dessert cups. Don't put these in a dessert cup. They should be laying and displaying flat. So
right.
if that helps.
And Kendra said on candied apples, though, they only last for 24 hours.
Huh?
Kendra said on candied strawberries, it only lasts 24 hours.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. I wouldn't even
Okay.
recommend putting an image on any candy strawberry.
Why? I'm just
because
curious why.
because the candy on fresh fruit,
Uh-huh.
candy do not last long at all
Okay.
on candy fruit, candy grapes. I don't care if you try to put these on there and then on candied fruit, so people will
Uh-huh.
hear me clearly. If you put the candy fruit in the refrigerator, in the freezer with the image, it's going to destroy. As soon as you take them out, that condensation is going to set in and you're going to touch it. The image is just going to smear all over the place.
Gotcha.
So they only last 24 hours.
Okay.
Candy fruit only lasts 24 hours anyway.
I
If they're
never
not
knew that.
properly
Yeah.
stored. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you got hot candy to fruit, and fruit sweats. So
Gotcha. So that's the same with candy apples as well. Any candied fruit does not last for
well,
more than 24 hours.
the apples will sustain a little longer than candied
Okay.
fruit. If you put pineapples in the refrigerator, they don't last that long.
Gotcha.
You put fruit in there, they're not going to last that long. They're going to become a liquor. You know what I'm saying? So any candy fruit that you do, I don't care if you put it in the freezer and you take it back out.
Mm-hmm.
It is meant to be enjoyed within 24 to 48 hours. And I've been meaning to do another YouTube video on that because a lot of people are doing these candy grapes and not really telling the people that they need to be enjoyed within the 24-hour period. Because
Gotcha.
they're gonna melt away.
Gotcha. Now, LCG asked the Cello sheets. Just keep them in the bag they came in, and they don't need to be refrigerated or anything. If they're printed, I like to turn them over. That's all. And Tamina wants samples. Tamina wants samples.
Who wants samples?
Tamina. And Alyssa, yes, you can apply them